Hello everyone. Yeah, that's just a new locomotive I bought. I've got it in the N-gauge. I liked it. I saw it on special, and so I bought it. But what's been happening is that I got a little bit, not tired, but just a little bit annoyed with the layout, because from the time a train left this stop here to the time it left there again was 3 minutes something or other, about 3 minutes 48 seconds, and I just thought, and that train was going the same direction all the time. So I decided to run the trains down through this bottom section, which involved rearranging turnouts over there and removing a loop that went along up into the tunnel, a tunnel that you can see there, and putting that loop in here where that train is, so I could cross trains there. It also meant putting in a triangle. If I turn the lights on, no, the lights are on. It also meant removing a bit of twin track. It's not very bright under there. Mind you, I'm not very bright at all today, but never mind. I had twin track that went from there along here and joined into there, and so I took that out. I put a single left turnout in there, I put another turnout in there, and then bridged that across to there. As you can see, there's a trip just there and a turnout there. The track off to the, well, it's our right, but it's actually left as they come up the hill, was the original curve which joins onto there. So I've got a triangle, so it means that I can now run trains down that branch or down the spiral. I had to also add into the spiral. I think I had to add one or two, yeah, one more length in there, one more spiral, so I can run trains all down there. So what I'll do now is get them running and come back to you. Righty-ho, while we're waiting for the computer to start up, I did some other changes at this end of the yard too. I've shifted the signal box from in a position just here. I've put some point work there, so I can then bring a train down the branch line and have it go either straight through to the goods yard or across and then onto that platform there. While the other way, I can also have a train coming out of the goods yard, across and out onto the main, or the rail car come back through, passenger train come back through onto that branch line. I fitted the locomotive depot has all been rebuilt, building shifted, fitted an extra couple of tracks in there. I think this older loco shed, it came from the end of the branch line where I was very pushed for room up there, never used it properly, so it's down here now. And I also installed my very early Marklin turntable. I think this is the 1960s I bought this. It was lying around for years, just gathering dust, not working. I did buy a box for it just a few months ago, and then I thought, why don't I try and get it to work? So I got the thing to work. Righto, with diesels you don't need you don't need to, with these diesels and electrics that I'm running, you don't need to turn them, but with those old beasties over there, the steamers, yep, you need to. So this was originally the town area, so I was taking photos from about here, so we'll cut and put a slideshow in there. And then we'll carry on, and the branch line was extended. This is the end here, was the end of the old layout, that pole, and I've taken it right up to the wall now. So it gives the trains a longer run here. There's going to be a signal there, believe it or not. So I'll go down to see if we got that computer's warmed up and we'll get it running. JMRI all loaded. There are 7 throttles there. 101, so on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I find that JMRI is good for that. I've got 7 trains out on the main line. Nothing against it, but with the old lens handheld, you can have a stack of 8, but you've got to scroll through. So if you can see that locomotive, say for argument's sake 185 is going to do something wrong, you can hit that kill button there, the stop button, and then you can sort out your problem, and then the rest of the locomotives retain their speed. But when you hit that panic button, I call it, hit that there, you are unable to scroll through anything on these. But with this, it is now stopped, everything is stopped, so I can come in and I can see for argument's sake that 182 was going somewhere where it shouldn't have done. I can come down, hit the stop, and that locomotive will stop while the rest will stay alive. So that's why I like the JMRI. Righty ho, she's all fired up, and things are running. Let's hope they're running correctly. We have this passenger train which has just come up the spiral. One moves up there, one down behind that, the passenger train there, it will move up. Theoretically that red loco should move. Ooh, it does. Okay, so far so good. I'm not going to show you the whole sequence because, as I said earlier on, just going around the top was 3 minutes 48. But to do the whole lot now is about 37 minutes from the time that locomotive that we're following gets back into that same position. It should change the point. I've never heard it, but hopefully it changed the point. And that will just spiral its way down. It should actually go right to the bottom of the spiral. So we've got another 3 to 2. Yes, it's going around the right way. One more level. That spiral is a standard Marklin 360, whatever they call it, radius, curve. Right, now he'll carry on right round and come up here beside that passenger train, pull up there, hit the trip just in there behind that little building, and then we'll come up and stop in this area. And then that one will head back, and theoretically when it comes up it should come into this track in here, the second one in there, going in the opposite direction. Let's see. Righto, that worked. This one now is heading up. So if we go around and follow it, there's a figure 8 on this bottom section. Over the back here, somewhere over the back there, there's a double slip, and see, just cross in there. So it just does the figure 8 on the bottom. And we'll head up the spiral and catch it at the top of the spiral. Righto, it should come straight out at us. There'll be panic stations if it doesn't. I've got to tidy up all that wiring. There'll be walls either side once I get the catenary in. And that, oh my god, it worked. That one will come through there. And there's a locomotive just sitting beside me, which will take off very shortly. And head down. When it gets down there, it hits the trip about now. The light flickered. That changes that point that it's just gone over. You turn out whatever you want, that one just in there. It changed that so as when the next train comes up, it will come round that curve. And then likewise with this trip in here, wait for it to focus, there's a trip there. When the train goes down there, it changes the point so the train will come the other way. Now I've been told that I've run out of film, or space on the card, so we'll come back later. Righty ho, another card on the phone, beg your pardon, another card on the camera, and away we go. As I say, the options for running this, I can run it in 4 different ways. I can run this top layout as one and the bottom one separately, or I can run the top and the bottom together as one layout. The third option is by closing that turnout there, all trains going anti-clockwise stay on the top layout, while the ones going clockwise will go down the spiral and run round the bottom one, then come back up and continue their journey on along under there. So by leaving that point as it is set to go around the corner there and closing that one, that then reverses that. So that's the fourth option, is trains going clockwise stay on the top and trains going anti-clockwise go down and around the bottom part. They do not change direction as they do when they are running both layouts as one. But that is purely by chance. I was sitting here watching them run one day and I thought, you know, that little light that comes on in the old head at times, and I thought, by gosh. So I was quite impressed with that. Not planned, just happened. So I've got a little bit of a yard up here now that the locomotive shed has gone from there. So that'll be for the sawmill there and for the coal mine over there. Right, now while this is rather dark here, I haven't got the light connected yet, working on it. Yeah. This is going to be an all town area with the railway coming through. As you can see, I've sort of got to buy a whole heap of buildings and I'll get in and develop it. So I'm quite looking forward to getting all this done. Once again, underneath, when I clean all this rubbish out, my little British end gauge layout will be put back in under there, and at the moment it is down here along with my German end scale sitting up there, and there's my little British one just there, just out of the way at the moment. Once I get this all this running and not cutting wood and carrying things in and out, I will get them back into their position again. But running both trains, I beg your pardon, running all trains on both layouts, it takes 37 minutes and 6 seconds to do the complete loop. Quite impressive and quite unplanned. You know, you've got to get these things occasionally surprise you. Right, now that I've got the layout, well, the train's running again, apart from catenary, that's the catenary wire, whoops, there, I'm going to put into the tunnel. That's a Weissman product. I've got to do that yet, but I've got to clean up all this sort of junk, sort out the pile up there of cars, put all that, get all that working. Underneath here, I've got to fold that up. That's the road. Do a wee bit of scenic work there. Then come back down this end. My granddaughters were playing on the layout the other day and they had a traffic jam, so I had to clean that up, all the trees. So generally I've just got to come through and get the old farm all cleaned up again, get that tractor ready to run. That there stopped for some unknown reason, probably a wire pulled out from below. Once again we've got a bit of a disaster area there which I've got to clean up, tidy up all these wires. They all belong for something that used to be up in this area, and then do the wharf, get that all cleaned up, and then I can get back into plane, trains and building the town. Something worth looking forward to.